My new book, 14 Keys to Lasting Love, Chapter 10 deals with a sexual relationship, and it's titled Sex, How Often? In that chapter, one of the topics focuses on marriage areas that affect sex and marriage. Let's look at those 4 problem areas. Are you both getting your sexual needs met? When you think about sexual needs being met, what comes to your mind? How would your spouse answer that question? The first question is certainly influenced by our gender, isn't it? Most studies agree that sex is a physical need for men. A man's desire for sex is influenced not only by his circumstances or the environment around him, but also by testosterone levels and other biological factors. So when a man has sex, that need is satisfied, but it's going to build again. Women, on the other hand, are different. Hormones fluctuate, affecting their sex drive. Most men can be stimulated easily most of the time. I can look at Nancy and think about having sex with her when that idea is nowhere on her radar. That truth for men probably comes as no surprise. But how we handle these differences and needs is important and can make or break the sex in your marriage. Number 2, is low libido an issue for either one of you? Low libido is simply the loss of sexual desire. Most of us will experience this at some time in our marriage. When I talk to a couple about low libido, I want to check out the common problems first. Is there depression? Have they talked to their doctor about their libido problem? Have they had blood work done to confirm or rule out causes? What stresses are they under? What medications are they on? Is lower libido a side effect? Then we can begin to look at marriage issues or personal issues that may be affecting their sex drive. Whatever the problem, there is hope. Low libido is not usually something a couple has to live with for the rest of their marriage. It is a combination of a good doctor, a good Christian counselor, and the couple themselves all working together to get to the bottom of the problem and to chart a plan for healing. Number 3, do you prioritize your sex life? When I ask a couple if their sex life is important to them, I've never heard a couple answer no. But when I ask them how they prioritize it, I usually hear nothing in response. For most couples, life, kids, and busyness become part of the daily routine, and sex gets pushed down the list. It's not like they're against sex or don't like sex, they just aren't taking any steps toward making it a real priority. Do you feel relaxed and comfortable in your own sexuality? How we look at ourselves sexually plays a big part in our sex lives and marriage. In our culture, women seem to struggle in this area more than men do. A woman cannot go anywhere without seeing something depicts the perfect look or the perfect body. Whether it's a magazine rack at the grocery store checkout, the latest movie, or billboard you pass by every day on the freeway, the temptation to compare yourself to someone else is everywhere, and it's not fair. Plus, most photos are airbrushed. Hollywood can transform anyone into perfection. It just takes a few hours of preparation, makeup, and a little extra help here and there. The problem is that many ladies have bought into this mess. The simple answer is stop. Stop comparing. Stop believing that you have to look a certain way to be attractive to your husband. Start believing him when he tells you that you're beautiful and sexy and that he wants only you. Remember, he chose you and you chose him. Remember what God says about you. I praise you, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, from Psalm 139, verse 14. You are perfect in God's eyes. He doesn't make mistakes. He sees who you are inside and the beauty of your heart. I've counseled so many women who buy into the unrealistic beauty as culture defines it. They struggle to see themselves through God's eyes and to embrace the love their spouse gives them. Until you do, you are missing out on so much. Listen to God. Listen to your husband. Rejoice in who you are. And for the guys who struggle in this area too, if that is you, everything I applied to your wife applies to you. See yourself through God's eyes and believe her when she says, you're hot. That's it. 4 problem areas. Did any of them hit home for you? What is your next step in meeting that problem head on and seeking a solution that will work for both of you?